right, more now on the week that was and what's ahead with the duo that has spearheaded the Civility Project. Great time to keep that in mind. A lot of in-civil things said this past week, but let's talk to Stephen Henderson of WDET in Detroit Today and Nolan Finley of the Detroit News. Stephen, I'd like to start with you because I want to talk about this Wayne County Canvassing Board situation. I was listening to your program the morning after that meeting, and you had very strong feelings about what had happened.
Well, I mean, this just unmasked the effort to try to overturn the election as a plot to disenfranchise black voters. Monica Palmer, one of the members of the board, sat there and said it. She was fine to certify the other Wayne County votes, but she wanted to get rid of Detroit. And that, I think, gets right to the heart of the effort, not just in Michigan, but nationwide, that the Republican Party's strategy is to reduce black participation in balloting, and they will do it by any means necessary, including the illegitimate means that they've used here. It's not acceptable, and we're not going to. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to debate there. That is an assault on black voters. It's an assault on black people.
Nolan, the defense that they used was that just like the primary, we saw this problem of some precincts, a lot of precincts being out of balance. But they certified the vote in the primary. Why this was different, and nobody has explained. But what was your take on it?
Well, that's standard operating procedure in Wayne County and Detroit. They never get the vote completely right. But Donald Trump
Isn't that a problem?
Well, of course it's a problem. We should be getting the vote right everywhere. There's a degree of racism involved when Detroit voters line up to vote and the votes don't get counted because of incompetence. But Donald Trump didn't lose this election in Wayne County. He lost this election in Oakland County, where he got 50,000 fewer votes than he got in 2016. In Kent County, where he got nearly 40,000 fewer votes than he got the last time. What happened in Wayne County? And you know, the focus on Wayne County, I think, is misplaced.
Stephen, we do need to finally figure, because it was almost the exact same margin of precincts being out of balance back to the primary, which means that these districts supposedly aren't recountable if it comes to that. I mean, we do need to fix that, right?
Well, I mean, they've been working on fixing it, and that was why the state was involved in the election in Detroit this time, was to help with that. But to fix it long term, this is a resource problem. The clerk's office in Detroit is underfunded, and whatever you think of the clerk, Janice Winfrey, and the job that she's done, you know, the best clerk in the world couldn't run this in a way that you wouldn't have these problems. We've been talking about this for a long time. They don't fix it.
I think Chris Thomas, who was brought in, of course, to help with this, would agree with you on that front. Let's move to this very strange odyssey involving Mike Shirkey and Lee Chatfield. A lot of people believing that they should not have taken the invitation to go to the White House. They both argued, I think, why would we not accept an invitation to talk to the president? They emerged and said that they had appealed for more COVID aid, that they hadn't seen anything that would change the Michigan result. Nolan, was this much ado about not very much, or were people rightfully indignant about this invitation being sent out in the first place?
Well, I think the former is true. There's nothing the legislature, under Michigan law, there's no role for the legislature here. They cannot overturn the electors, the electoral college electors. They cannot replace the electoral college electors. There's nothing under law they can do. And Mike Shirkey and Lee Chatfield both said several days ago, we are not going to meddle in this election, and they're not because they don't have an opportunity. Even if they wanted to, the law doesn't allow it. They went, said they talked about COVID-19. Who knows what they talked about? Who knows what the president wanted them to do? But their statement afterwards saying, we've seen nothing that's going to change the result of the election. I trust that. And so, yeah, I think, and I also believe, hey, they got the invitation to say, hey, we're going to the White House, guys. Let's go, you know.
There were so many odd trappings around this. Stephen, your thoughts?
So, I mean, I don't think that there was anything that could have been done, but I think that they should have thought a little harder about being part of the show here. And that was part of the aim that the president had, was to co-opt leadership, political leadership in the state, into this assault on voters in Detroit. And as the Speaker of the House and the Senate Majority Leader, they don't represent their districts and their parties only. They represent the whole state. And so I think there might have been, even if they decided to go, saying up front that was the case and that they were there to fight for voters in this state might have made it look a little less like they were lickspittles jumping at the president's beck and call. But you know, as Nolan points out, there's really not much they can do here. So it's all show to get people worked up.
Not much I can do here either because I got to get to a break. But Stephen and Nolan, thanks so much for the time, guys. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you soon. Back with more in just a minute on Flashpoint.